Hello everyone, today we're going to be talking about the Snow Elf religion and a little bit of their society. They kind of go hand in hand because we don't know too much about them. So, little is known other than that they often parallel the Altmer, which is kind of ironic considering how opposite sides of the spectrum they are on in terms of where their geography is, the Snow Elves being in the north and the Altmer being in the Somerset Isles in the south. They kept in contact with other elven kingdoms, and they developed a very complex and nearly indecipherable language. Only a few people in Tamriel can even recognize their alphabet, let alone read it, making it ideal for anyone with the proper knowledge seeking to encode their writings. Now, they developed their own method of telling time and magnificent architectural achievements, among other things as well. The Altmer and the Snow Elf pantheons overlap significantly, possibly entirely. Both acknowledge Auri-El as their sovereign and venerate Trinamac, Sirabane, Jeffrey, I believe, and then I'm going to assume this is Finaster. And they had temples to all of them, though none of them were as impressive as the Chantry of Auri-El. And essentially, Auri-El is going to be their chief deity and the one that shines the brightest among all of the rest. And now many of the Snow Elves dedicated themselves to the Chantry, and this tireless journey to the Forgotten Vale would be a paramount jersey to show their dedication to Auri-El and themselves. After it was constructed, the mythical Forgotten Vale of the Western Skyrim, the Chantry quickly became the epicenter of Snow Elf religion. The retreat was designed for those who wished to become enlightened. Initiates entered the Chantry through a cave representing the absence of enlightenment and carried a ceremonial ewer to each of the way shrines, small sites of worship where they scattered throughout, which were scattered throughout the Chantry and the Forgotten Vale itself, and they were used for meditation and transportation. Now, each shrine was tended to by a prelate who taught the initiates the mantras they were supposed to recite. After visiting each way shrine, which was the way shrine of illumination, learning, resolution, radiance, and sight, and dipping the ewer into the water basin to each, the initiates arrived at the inner sanctum to end their pilgrimage once and for all. And this is where the Archcurate, a Snow Elf who communicated directly with Auri-El, would meet with them. And the only known Archcurate we have is Vythor, who is the brother of Gelibor, who was infected by vampirism and eventually would go crazy and start the plot of the Dragonborn, or be a part of the plot of the Dragonborn DLC in Skyrim. Now, what we do know is that this initiation was pretty hard. It was used to prove the determination of the Snow Elves who wanted to make this pilgrimage, and it was not only a test of the natural elements of the treacherous veil, but it was also a test of one's willpower as well. And now, essentially, this is, like I said, the chief deity of the Snow Elves, and religion played a massive part in their whole society themselves. And there are 4 other so-called, I would say, gods in a sense that they did worship, and that would be the gods that we listed earlier. Now we have Finaster, who is essentially the one that confuses me the most. He is a hero god of the Somerset Isles, and although he's not part of the main Aldmeri pantheon, he is worshipped and maintained through a significant part of the province through a cult. And like I said, it's just a little weird that he played such a massive role in here. He was one of the ancestors that helped, that ascended along with the Altmer and thinking that they were gods, and so he was ascended as well into godhood as well. So it's a little weird in my opinion. Next you have Jeffrey, I believe, and Jeffrey, the singer or the storyteller, the god of song in the forest, and spirit of the now, is the most important deity of the Bosmiri pantheon. However, like I said, it is also worshipped by the Altmer and Snow Elves and even the Bretons. Now, it's not really a he, it's sometimes actually depicted as a she as well, and essentially they are more of a manifestation of nature and everything that goes along with it. And then lastly, we have, we have Sirabane, who is actually a god of magic, who plays a big role there, and that's really not too much. Elves really give magic, so essentially it makes sense why they would worship something similar to that. And then we have Trinamac, who was, I should say, the champion of Auri-El, who then later became Malakath, who was a former shell of himself, who was more vengeful and rage-filled than the rest. But with that, that is all we have. I believe this actually will conclude my series on the Snow Elves. I might redo the video with the Nordic Falmer War. I realized that early on I was going to link actually the video to that. The Nordic Falmer War video is very old. It is very, very old. So essentially I might redo that video for the sake of redoing it, you know, better quality and all of that jazz. But with that, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any recommendations for future topics, please let me know in the comments below or in the Discord chat. Feel free to join that in the link in the description below. And I want to make a huge shout out and thank you to Aries for allowing me to use his music. And yeah, there's not too much else to say today. I hope you all enjoyed. Peace. If you just happen to stumble upon this video and enjoyed, maybe consider subscribing. If you are a returning subscriber and you enjoyed, please hit that like button. It really helps way more than you actually think it would. And I hope to see you all in the next video. Peace.